What's up, guys? Welcome to the Line Change. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the Abby Canucks, Game 3 of the Pacific Division Finals between them and the Colorado Eagles. They were able to win Game 3 in Colorado in overtime. Some late heroics from Linus Karlsson to take a 2-1 series lead going into Game 4. So we're going to break it down like we always do, and we're going to recap it. But first, let's thank my sponsor, W Energy. A huge thank you to my sponsor, W Energy. Are you looking for an energy drink that is jitter-free, crash-free, no sugars, no artificial colors or dyes, and no calories? Then W Energy is just what the doctor ordered. W Energy has over 15 unique and custom different flavors to choose from, including Galaxy Grenade, which is a blend of watermelon, guava, and lime explosion, Beach and Peach, which is a blend of mango, white peach cooler. If you're looking to give it a try, get the starter sampler pack for $24. You get a shaker and 3 different flavors to try. Use code TheLineChange and save 10% off on your starter sampler pack or any purchase that you want. Right now, they have a buy 2, get 1 free sale going on for this entire month. Get it while you can. Use the code B2G1 when you have 3 tubs or more in your cart. Check out their website at www.w.gg. Once again, that is www.w.gg. W Energy. Be better, your taste buds' favorite energy drink. So let's get to the breakdown. As the higher seed, the Colorado Eagles chose home ice advantage, meaning the series now shifts to the Blue Arena for the remaining 3 games. Of course, we already knew that. The Abbotsford Canucks, however, arrived armed with history after dropping Game 2 in all 3 playoff rounds. They'd roared back for Game 3 each time, outscoring opponents 8-1. Could they make it 3? Early signs weren't promising as the Canucks surrendered the first goal again within 5 minutes and racked up 3 minor penalties in the opening frame. Despite clawing back to tie it before the buzzer, they had handed momentum to the home team. A seesaw second period ended with a late Eagles goal, putting Abbotsford on the ropes entering the third. But resilience has defined this Canucks team all season long, and with their backs against the wall, they battled back to force overtime on enemy turf. After surviving a flurry of chances, Linus Karlsson played hero by calling Game 3 in dramatic fraction. Let's look at the starting lineup for this game, as we always do. The Abbotsford Canucks welcome back Christian Wolanin to their blue line, a considerable addition to the team's transition game from the back end. He replaced rookie defender Kirill Kudryavtsev. Meanwhile, Danila Klimovich, who played absolutely amazing during the regular season, was their top scorer, returned to the lineup after being healthy scratched, presumably for the last 4 games. Not only was he back in the lineup, but he was tossed into the top 6, which enables him to play to his strengths rather than his typical playoff fourth line role. He replaced Dino Gambits. Looking at the first line, it was Baines, Sasson, and Lakramaki, Blais, Mueller, and Klimovich, Nielsen, Waters, and Karlsson, and then you had DiGiuseppe, Kara, and Smith. Your first D pairing was Breezewell and McWard, Hirose and Wu, and then finally Wolanin and Mancini, and of course, RDC Loves was in net. Let's check out the first period. The Abbotsford Canucks were the away team, which is already a slight disadvantage for a playoff game. But to make matters worse, Tristan Nielsen took a tripping penalty just 28 seconds into the game. That said, the team's penalty kill has been incredible all postseason long, and this one was no different. Given the Eagles nothing on the inside, the Canucks held their ground for their 27th consecutive kill. Just think about that for a second. 27 consecutive penalty kills in this playoffs for the Abbotsford Canucks. That is absolutely amazing and just shows you how good their penalty kill is. Could it be a little bit of luck? Perhaps, but it's definitely been one of these success stories during this playoff run for the Abbotsford Canucks. One of the big reasons for the team's PK success has been Victor Mancini, who single-handedly made the Eagles' power play a living nightmare. But the Eagles would eventually grab first blood. Colorado would score to make it 1-0. John Ludwig from Oscar Olason and Jacob McDonald. Gaining the zone was Oscar Olesen, who fired the puck toward the net, with Artur Silovs steering it aside. The puck would squirt to the top of the circles, where John Ludwig collected and sent a relatively routine shot toward the net. Unfortunately, the shot handcuffed the netminder, squeezing through the wickets as Silovs attempted to close his pads. Silovs has been the team's top star throughout these playoffs, but that's a shot he likely wants back. Slow starts have been a consistent issue for this Canucks team, and this game was no exception. Over at the other end, the Canucks collected just a few shots through the first 10 minutes, mainly off of a 2-minute power play stretch, but the majority of the play favored the Eagles. The best chance came just before the midway point, thanks to a heads-up play off the defensive end. Face-off by Tristan Nielsen. Nielsen went to his strong side as the puck dropped, collecting the breakout pass and sending a streaking Chase Waters. The captain fired the puck to the blocker side with the trailing Akito Hirose nearly cleaning up the rebound. Finally, that slight stretch of momentum led to an equalizer just after the period's midway point. Abbotsford would score to tie it 1-1. Victor Mancini from Jonathan Lekkerimäki and Christian Wolanin. Victor Mancini picked up the puck off the offensive faceoff win before making a tremendous drive and cut in toward the net. The puck jumped out to the high slot where Jonathan Lekkerimäki picked it up and fired his patented shot toward the net. Sitting on the doorstep, Mancini was still battling after his net drive. He pounced on the rebound to grab his second of the Calder Cup playoffs. Mancini had been the team's most noticeable player leading up to the goal, so the finish was a fitting result. Lekkerimäki's assist was his third point in 2 games, after he had collected just 1 assist through his first 5 games. So as you can see, Lekkerimäki is starting to heat up a little bit, which is of course great to see. Not only after the goal, Chase Waters was called for an easy boarding penalty, sending his team to another early penalty kill. Of course, they made it look easy, killing their 28th straight penalty. Like, wow. This whole penalty kill thing is absolutely blowing my mind. Later in the period, the Canucks thought they had taken the lead late after a tremendous drive from Ty Mueller. Danila Klimovic made the play happen in the defensive zone, forcing a turnover that sent Mueller to the races. Skating alongside a defender, he dropped the shoulder and drove for a good chance, sending goaltender Trent Miner sliding into the net. With a good view of the puck, the referee instantly called the goal off as it had not officially crossed the line. The period concluded with the Canucks on yet another penalty kill. This time, Nate Smith was called for a slash, catching John Ludwig in an unfortunate spot for an unnecessary penalty. Killing off the first 40 seconds, the penalty would carry over to the second period. After an undisciplined opening period, the Canucks were happy, but perhaps a little lucky to emerge unscathed and even at 1 goal apiece. After the first period, the shots were 13-12 in favor of Colorado. Now let's move on to the second period. The Canucks successfully killed the remainder of the penalty, and you know what that means. 29 for 29. Like, wow. If only the Vancouver Canucks had a penalty kill as good as this. I just want to know, if someone knows who the penalty kill coach for the Abbotsford Canucks is, let me know in the comment section down below, and they should promote him to the Vancouver Canucks, because if he's this good at the penalty kill, we could use that too. The Canucks had a couple of low-grade chances to start the second, but Colorado had the majority of the good looks. First, Cal Rosen sent a single shot through traffic, which beat Silovs' his blocker side, but not the post. With the Eagles continuing their press, Jake Wise sent the puck to the slot, where Mark Senden got a stick on. Silovs slid over for this one, dropping his pads on the redirect. At the other end, Trent Miner was making his own presence felt with his best save of the game. With Danila Klimovic cycling the puck, he spun and threw the puck toward the net. After hitting a skate in front, the puck bounced right to Semi Blais with a wide open cage. Kicking the leg out was Miner, who made the save to keep the score even and keep Blais off the score sheet in the series. Meanwhile, Silovs stymied former Vancouver Canuck forward Jason Megan, or is that Magna? I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's Magna. Yeah, it is. Not once, but twice. First, Magna made a tremendous toe drag around a sliding Abbey defender before being stopped point blank. Moments later, he enjoyed a favorable bounce with the puck falling to him alone at the net front. Seelovs threw up his shoulder calmly. The Eagles finally found one late. Colorado would score to make it 2-1. Jake Wise from Matthew Phillips. The puck reached Matthew Phillips below the goal line after a failed clearing attempt from Jet Wu. Showing patience, he found Jake Wise in the slot, who fired the one-timer past the netminder for the late go-ahead goal. The Canucks played a solid period but could not hold a pressing Eagles team for a full 20 minutes. Shots after two periods were 20-18 in favor of Colorado. Let's look at the third period. Without being too dramatic, the third period felt like a must-win period. A loss, and you're forced to win two straight on the road against the Western Conference's top team. No easy feat, but the Eagles came out hot, grabbing several looks early to force Seelovs to remain strong. But after being hemmed in for much of the period, the Canucks were gifted a power play and a big chance to even the score. Both units struggled to maintain possession. However, the Abbotsford netminder was forced to make the stretch's best chance, with Magna testing Seelovs once again. Canucks did pick up their best chance of the period. With the penalty expired, Akito Hirose broke into the zone before dropping it back to Linus Karlsson, who made several strong moves before firing a shot labeled for the short side. After a few missed opportunities, the Canucks finally solved Minor in the third period. Abbotsford would score to make it 2-2. Max Sasson from Jonathan Lekromacki and Jet Wu. Collecting the puck at neutral ice was Lekromacki, who sprung Sasson with a heavy pass. Using the defender as a screen, he snapped the puck far side just above Minor's pads, and they didn't stop there. Cutting into the middle was Arshdeep Bains, who was hauled down on the cross, sending the puck back. It found its way to Jonathan Lekromacki with time and space, but he rang it off the crossbar. The final 5 minutes offered an incredible pace, with both teams exchanging several chances. First, Jacob McDonald is fed alone in the slot, but robbed by Seelovs' blocker. Turning things over quickly during the transition, Bains nearly connected with Lekromacki to send him all alone. The puck hopped over his stick to put an end to the rush. The good news was that Lekromacki had his handprints all over the period, generating several chances for his team. Meanwhile, Seelovs continued to stand tall for the Canucks. In fact, the final minutes saw several frantic chances for each side, with the goaltenders coming up big at both ends. With a commanding series lead on the line, this one needed overtime. Final shots after 60 minutes were 30-27 in favor of Colorado. Let's move on to overtime. It was a hesitant start to the extra frame, but the Canucks were handed an early power play. Penalties are stiff to come by during playoff overtime, but this one was clear as day. With an Eagles player down, Linus Karlsson was nearly off to the races to grab the puck and turn the play over. However, he was dropped by a stretched out stick to send the Canucks to the man advantage. Chase Waters picked up the best chance after some good movement. The puck reached Waters at the net front. He spun and went backhand to forehand, but Minor stood tall to set the chance aside. That play represented the overtime frame's best chance for quite some time, with both teams playing apprehensive overtime hockey. That was until under 5 minutes when Seelov made the game save. Jet Wu coughed up the puck with an egregious pizza up the middle, handing it right to Jason Magna. After being stopped 7 times before, he was all alone to settle the score. Going backhand to forehand, he stretched Seelovs out, but then netminder was able to get the best of him again. That's a total of 8 saves on Magna. And in hockey, there's an unwritten rule that when one team gets a prime chance one way, something even more major has to go down at the other. Abbotsford would score to make it 3-2. Linus Karlsson from Ty Mueller to win the game. And with just over 1 minute to go in overtime, Linus Karlsson did what Linus Karlsson does, and that's dig out and battle for a puck at the net front. Going above the shoulder of Minor, the Swede called the game to give his team the 2-1 series lead and just 1 game away from a berth in the conference finals. How can you not be romantic about hockey? Final shots were 37-33 in favor of Colorado. Final score, as we mentioned, 3-2 for Abbotsford. And what's next is Game 3 will take place Friday, May 23rd at Blue Arena as the Colorado Eagles are on the brink of elimination. Puck drop is at 6:05 p.m. Pacific, with Game 5, if necessary, coming on Monday, May 26th at 2 p.m. Pacific. So if we do go to a Game 5, that it will be an early start game at 2:05 Pacific. But that's going to do it for this recap of the Abbotsford Canucks. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Obviously, I'm cheering really hard for Abbotsford Canucks. Obviously, this series, doing these playoff game recaps and breakdowns, has really gotten me into the Abbotsford Canucks. I'm actually even thinking about getting myself an Abbotsford Canucks jersey. Just for the sake of doing these. Let me know in the comment section below, down below, which player I should get. Right now, I'm thinking about someone like maybe Max Sasson, maybe RD Seelovs, being a former goalie myself. Do you guys think I should get a Lekramaki one? Let me know in the comment section down below which one I should get, and I'll probably look into getting one. But yeah, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to stay up to date on all your Vancouver Canucks and Abbotsford Canucks content, be sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. That way you don't miss a single video. If you'd like to find us on social media, you can find us on Facebook. Just search The Line Change to find our Facebook page. You can find us on Instagram at The Line Change. You can find us on Twitter/X at LineChangeVan. You can also find us on TikTok at the.line.change.po. Feel free to give us a follow on all of our social media platforms. And if you prefer an audio version of this podcast, you can find us on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts. On Spotify, feel free to give us a follow on there, as well as rate and review us. It is, of course, greatly appreciated. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, go Canucks, go, both Vancouver and Abbotsford. And I'll see you guys in the next video.